Hi, everybody. Okay, let's see if this reading is for you today. So you're going to pinch your fingers together and you're going to ask, is there something I need to gain from hearing this reading? Is this reading for me in some way? And you're going to pull your fingers, and if they stay together, then that's a yes. If they come apart, that's a no. Today, we are using the traditional Kipper cards, but we are also, I just got this deck, I'm so excited. We're using the Flower Essences deck from All Things Divination. Okay, what this is, I wish I had thought of it. It was such a cool idea. All Things Divination basically created a deck based on the flower essences, like the Bach flower essences, and I think there are other companies selling them too, where the deck is just these beautiful pictures of those flowers with descriptions of the different sort of emotional states that they treat. And so the way that I have been using this is it's a really great way to get more detail on the people cards. Human beings, one to the other, are really the same at their core essence. What makes us different are the little kinks and bends in our personal filter for life, right? Our weaknesses are really how we differ. And so when you got a deck that's just a bunch of flower representations of our weaknesses, our psychological weaknesses, you've got a deck that can really get you a lot of information on the people cards. So we're going to use this deck in a second to get some more information. But I just wanted to point that out. I'll put a link in the description. You can get that from All Things Divination, and I think it's brilliant. Okay, so this reading here, what I was asking was, what is, it's sort of a next step reading, but it's sort of like, what do I need to know about moving forward? And what's kind of holding me back, and what knowledge do I have to have about that kind of situationally, which is what the Kipper is so good at. And so what I see here is basically a general storyline about expectations on other people to do the heavy lifting for you, and the need to actually change to lesser expectations. So here we have the Child card, and this is getting connected to the Good Gent. And what this is basically saying is there's a part of you that just feels new and young and inexperienced. And, I think this happens at any age, right? 50 is the new 12. I myself often feel this way. And what they're saying here is that feeling this way is creating this expectation upon some figure, a parental type figure. And that parental type figure is expected to somehow just come in and solve all your problems with all of their money. Okay? I think we see this a lot, right? Especially with parents. You don't always understand what it took for them to become what they are. We see it with our kids. They can't imagine the limitations on our resources because we're a step beyond them. And there's always a step beyond. So there's somebody here a step beyond, and we are sort of expecting them to come in and just help. What are they helping with? We're expecting them to actually gift us with some of the foundational things that are ours to establish in our life. So this is the House card. And the House card could be a literal home. You could be expecting someone to buy you a home, but, it really stands for those basic stabilities in life that are yours to establish, those things that are meant to be the product of your day-to-day work and savings and scrounging, that stability that builds up around you. There is an expectation that is meant to just be sort of gifted, okay? And what that is doing is it is creating this sort of long road to you actually finding yourself, finding your own wealth. There's a sort of a personal dishonesty that is, you're just not really being quite honest with yourself and about your efforts and capabilities, that is just leading you to this whole kind of situation. Everything sort of converges right here. Okay? And so this sort of personal dishonesty that you're telling yourself is just kind of leading to that. All right? And what needs to change here is you need to go from basically all of this to just expecting less of people. This is an unexpected money card, but it is, what's actually more appropriate for people to give. It's a lesser money card. It's sure, here's a little windfall. Here's $100. Go nuts, right? It's a much lower expectation. And I think we just get so much relief from the idea that someone's going to come in and just fix it all for us. And it's just not realistic. It's a little lie that we tell ourselves that that's somehow supposed to be happening. And so that's what needs to change here. Now, let's get some information. I shuffled these cards and pulled them, and the order was, so for Good Gent, who's this dude? All right. Cherry Plum. Rich Maiden. Okay, so the gent up here is basically somebody who is scared to lose control. And we actually see this a lot, like people don't get rich by being reckless with their money, right? They don't amass wealth by just giving it out to every person who wants it. And so you have to actually recognize that the people that you are relying on themselves have their own fears about money. You look at them and you see them having so much and you think, oh, wouldn't it be nice to not be nervous about money? Those people are always nervous about money. Okay, the reason they have that money is because they were nervous about money and they, did things to shore up the loss of money. So that's one thing you need to understand about that person. Rich Maiden and Rich Gent here are you. They're different aspects of you. And so here we have this kind of long road to yourself where you are actually represented by Wild Rose. This is for people who make insufficient efforts to improve situations. Okay, sound familiar? Seems quite consistent with this reading. And then another aspect of you we have is Rich Gent, which is Gorse Flower. This is hopelessness and despair and extremely pessimistic. So, you've got a lot of concern here and you need to actually just change to a position where you're okay with the idea that life is going to hand this to you in little bits and pieces. There's going to be little windfalls of money, and you have to actually take them, and you need to not squander them. You need to get smart with how you use your money. It comes in little bits and pieces. All right? And then I thought I'd pull one for the false person card. Let's see. Red Chestnut. Fearing the worst of others, overly caring. So again, I think this kind of tells the same story where we are kind of in a personal way just thinking about people as being ungenerous and neglecting to recognize that they actually don't owe us any of this. We start to get judgmental with how other people are being with their resources because on some level we just feel like it would be such an easy solution to our problems if they would just share these things that are theirs, that they've worked for. They use them to allay their own fear of losing control in their life. And so it would be scary of them to think that they have to just suddenly be responsible for everybody else's stability. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. That's what we need to actually understand about the things we're expecting from the people around us. And the answer here is we have to move into a place where we come to accept that the blessings of our life are going to come from our own work, and they're going to come from little windfalls of money, little installments that we amass and use to actually make more money. Okay? All right, that's what I have for you. If you'd ever like a personal reading from me, come find me on hiddenpathways.com. If you want to buy this deck, I'm going to put a link to it in the description. It's really beautiful. I'm really enjoying it. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video.